Legacy is that we leave behind. For me, my most important legacy to leave behind is how my children show up in this world. I figured out that I don't have to have it figured out, and I'll never have it all figured out. But you know what? There is a network and a resource out there, resources out there that can be there for almost any situation that comes up. Time is fleeting. Moments will come and go really quickly right there. But we'd like to think, oh, I'm going to remember that forever. Reality is there's so much data that comes at us on a nonstop basis that, at least for me, sometimes it's difficult to remember what happened last week or the funny thing my kid said 2 days ago that I thought I'd never forget. What we've done with Legacy Journal is made it super easy that you can jump in, make a quick little entry. The coolest thing for me is getting to go reread those over the years later. It's like I'm re-experiencing the moment again.
That's great. And so you found mentors you could believe in, mentors that, in this case, in real estate, that said, follow this plan. It's the long game. But because you believed in them and they believed in you, because you obviously showed up in a certain way, then that's what got you moving forward, at least from a financial standpoint, into what the many different endeavors that you've been able to be involved in over the last number of years. What I want to go back to now, Ken, is family, because you and I are on the same thought process that, as we evolve in life and we learn a lot of lessons and hopefully we gain maturity and wisdom along the way, who are the first people we'd like to be able to impact with that? Well, it's our kids, right? I mean, you've already spoken about your kids. Let's talk about that. You were, as any young father, apprehensive, am I ready for this? And we're never quite ready, but we figure it out, the good and the bad and the ugly again, right? No parent's perfect. But when did you become really cognizant of the fact that you wanted to be a better father, better spouse, improve certain role model? When did that start to come into bearing for you? And then let's talk about how you move forward with that aspect in your life.
Yeah, a lot of that started happening around the same time period that I was defining my big why and my purpose of I wanted to be that great example as a father. And so I was like, okay, if this is who I want to be, I need to start showing up like that. How do I do that? And so I had just gotten involved with a mastermind group called GoBundance. Around that time, I got involved with a mastermind group called GoBundance. And GoBundance had a family component of that called FamBundance, and started really pouring into that with myself and with my family into that. And there were all kinds of role models and mentors and people going through the same kind of stuff and people wanting the same kind of stuff. And then I got involved in another group called Front Row Dads, which was just another amazing group. And I didn't even know that stuff existed in my past life. And so, as mentors and role models, there's a whole accountability ecosystem right there where you can get involved in education ecosystem, and a great place for transparency and authenticity and questions and growth. And so as I started seeking that out over the years, man, I've learned so much and so much from others. And I figured out that I don't have to have it figured out, and I'll never have it all figured out. But you know what? There is a network and a resource out there, resources out there that can be there for almost any situation that comes up. And so that really helped as I got involved in those groups, and it really, really helped me to dive in as a much better, more authentic father, more involved father, and which just really cares about and has dove deep into my relationship with my family.
And how old are your kids currently, Ken?
So my daughter is 18 and freshman in college. My oldest son is 17, a senior in high school, and then we have a 5-year-old who is in kindergarten.
So give me your definition of legacy, Ken.
Yeah, I think legacy is that we leave behind. And for me, my most important legacy to leave behind is how my children show up in this world. And I think how the example I've set, the lessons I've tried to leave for them, the mentors I've helped to put in their life right there, and the environments I've helped to put them in. I think when I look at how they show up today in life, I could not be more proud, more happy, more honored just by the lives they're living.
I love that. I want to be involved in how my kids show up. You didn't say anything about money, assets, trusts, estate planning stuff. I mean, I'm sure you have some, but that's not really your definition of legacy, is it? It really,
It's not mine.
yeah.
It's not. I think it's when I look at the legacy we leave behind, it's I've heard it said as your kind of legacy is like a wake behind a boat, right?
Mm.
And that wake can be a really positive force, or it can be a really damaging force. And I hope that when people look at the legacy of Ken Wimberly, they see it as a positive force of love and intelligence and kindness right there.
So that force that you want to leave behind to impact the people you want to impact, that's not something that you wait until you're, at the end and maybe write your memoirs, or you're doing that right now is my point. That's an intentional life that you're living that legacy every day. And a lot of people don't think, they think, again, it's the resources, assets, the estate planning, and don't even think about really what you want to leave behind. So that takes me to my next question. I know that we know that you're very entrepreneurial, and we know that you're a person of purpose and want to have impact, beyond your own family.
Yep.
And I know you've been working very hard on something behind the scenes that is in a certain iteration right now. So I want to dig right into it. Let's talk about the Legacy of Love application.
Yeah. So Legacy Journal that we created in our company's Legacy of Love Inc. And we created an app called the Legacy Journal app. And it is a mobile app that is designed to allow people to capture and document and the journeys that they're having with their spouse, with their children, with their families, and keep it all in a very safe, secure place. We're the kind of the antithesis of social media, and it's perfect as social media is getting such a black eye these days. We're a private platform for people to easily capture moments, memories, and lessons, and they can review these things. Because here's what we know. Time is fleeting. Moments will come and go really quickly right there. And as much as we think, or we'd like to think, oh, I'm going to remember that forever. Reality is there's so much data that comes at us on a nonstop basis that, at least for me, sometimes it's difficult to remember what happened last week, or the funny thing my kid said 2 days ago that I thought I'd never forget. And so what we've done with Legacy Journal is made it super easy that you can jump in, make a quick little entry or a note, or make take a picture of the birthday party you were at, or several pictures of the birthday party you were at. And what's been cool for me with that birthday party idea is I've documented with my children, if we've gone to a party or we've gone to a vacation with people, write down the names of everyone that's there. Because oddly enough, 4 or 5 years later, I might not remember exactly who those people were. Some of them were close friends and some were just associates right there. So anyway, it's this safe, secure digital place to do that. And that came out, this what's now a company and a product, was a solution to a problem. It was a real problem that I had. I started writing journals and stories to my children when Grace was, again, she's 18. She was just 1 year old. I started just writing the little stories of what was happening in her life, the little milestones she was having, what I was feeling as a father. I mean, it was a brand new experience for me. And so I just slow down and I would write some of this down about, once, maybe twice a month. I would write down a story. And then when Knox was actually still in the womb, I wrote his first entries. And I did it in a Word document long ago. I debated, do I do it in pen and paper or digitally? And frankly, I could type faster than I could write. So I started digitally. So for a bunch of years, I did it in a Word document. And then I did an Evernote for a while. I'd sometimes put it in the notes on my phone. And so the problem I was having is I had all these different sources that the kind of stories were. And, some of them, if you put, too big of a file in there, a picture or something, it would crash and you lose your data. And so I was like, how do I fix this problem? And a bunch of people were telling me, because I'd shared the idea of journaling with others, and like, Ken, you should develop something. And honestly, I figured by the time I had the bandwidth to do that it would already be out there. But when 2018, I had some things happen and, made some changes in some of my businesses. I was like, I think I've got the flexibility to pursue this right now, And so I started doing it, and I didn't see anything out there that was doing what I thought should be done. And so we, in earnest, went into it and really dove in deep into the tech world and created a product that is now Legacy Journal.
So is the way the app works is that typically do people have the app and all of their family members that they want to include, are they all included within that app, or is it something that you get to share when you want to share, or how do people use it?
Yeah, people are using it in different ways. So the way I did it for long term, and like I had my wife and I both in as what we call scribers. So we could each make entries to had all of my children and my dog and cat as family members in there. And so we could, any journal entry could be attached to any of those children. Because sometimes I'll write one journal entry that is apropos for all three children. And others, it's just one-on-one that I would write. But any one entry can be attached to, it's one of those problems I wanted to solve that was tough to do before. You can do that. But my children, the way I have it set up, they can't go in and read or see them until the time that we decide to gift it to them. And for me, I wanted to do that at high school graduation. That was kind of my time. But other people are using it as their real time journal. They go ahead and add their children in. And so it's real time. Their children can see it. I know that we've got some people where husband and wife are using it to journal back and forth to each other. And that's been a really kind of cool use case right there. They're kind of tell me that, look, we use it just to kind of write back and forth to each other, that, things that maybe you don't want to say at the moment, or we just feel it's more appropriate to write it down. And so there's lots of different use cases for the app.
I love the idea that you're able to capture everything in one place. As you said, typically we have notes and pictures and things that we want to say, and they're all over the place. And to have them in one platform where it's there and it's private, it's not, social media, like you said, people use that for a lot of that, but social media may not be what it is in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. It could be totally changed, and that may not be there. So I think it's very relevant that you have something that people can actually, put a real footprint on and say, hey, this is something I want to create for my family, my legacy.
Well, and the other thing that I've noticed with photos, because you mentioned kind of the photos on your phone. I don't know, I've got 18,000 photos on my phone, and sometimes it's really hard to go find what you're looking for right there on these. I know you scroll for 4 minutes before you can find it.
Right.
And it's just the nature of the beast. And so what I've kind of gotten used to saying, the photos become a little bit like white noise. There's just so many of them there. It's hard to find anything they say, if everything's special, nothing's special.
Right.
And so the beauty of this is that we're taking, you're not going to document everything in your life. Otherwise, then it's special. But you take just one of those moments a week or one a month and write a little story about that. Write the event, your kid's baseball game, they hit his first hit, or he got an out, or whatever it was. Or it could be the little thing. Man, I've got a lot of stories in there where my kids have just said some of the funniest stuff. I'm like, I need to write about that. And so I'll just spend 5 minutes. I'll jump in and write a quick little thing. And I'll tell you, David, the coolest thing for me is getting to go reread those over the years later. And it's like I'm re-experiencing the moment again. And as I was putting together Grace's entries to gift it to her at her high school graduation, I had tears in my eyes. I was just reading through all of these entries, and it's her life. It's my baby's life to read through that. And, now she's got those, so that, she's away at college, and, if she's having a rough day or she just kind of needs a little pick me up, she can read through those and, look at the love from her father and the stories of her life.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful, Ken. So where can people find out more about it, get involved with the app?
Yeah, please. We're certainly on the iPhone, Apple Store, and on the Google Play Store. So you can find the app in both places. You learn more about us at legacyjournal.app. So it's .app. Okay. And we've got kind of a good a bit of our history of our company and whatnot on there. You go learn a little bit more about us there.
Outstanding. I really appreciate your time today. To me, this is really the most important work that we can do as role models, as those who want to really live and leave the legacy we want to leave to the people we care about. This is the time. It's not something to wait. Right now is the time to do it, and having a way to do it easily. That's the other part, is if it's hard to do, then we don't do it, right? And you made something that's easy to do. There's no excuse. I love what you created, Kim.
And let's be clear on this. none of us knows how much time we have. I can tell you in the last 90 days, I have had, including just yesterday, my brother called me just yesterday. Says, wow, one of my great friends lives in the neighborhood, my age. So he's in his early 40s, passed away overnight. No one knows what happened. And that is one of 6 stories I've had in the last 90 days of something similar to that of people under the age of 50. So none of us knows how long we have. And so to think, oh, I'm going to get to that, I'm going to get to that is not a successful strategy.
No, not at all. All right. Well, Ken Wimberly, it's legacyjournal.app. Thank you again so much for being here. We're going to come back and do some more future podcasts because you have a lot of depth that we can glean from. And I thank you again so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
If you enjoyed watching or learning from this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. If you have a question about any of my content or this specific video, just please leave a comment down below. And as always, stay focused on your freedom. I'll see you next time.